Welcome everybody.
Hello.
How's everybody doing today?
Great. Good.
Good. There's some Oreo cookies today. Wait, chocolate peanut butter.
Never had pie.
They're really good. Yeah,
Never
I've
had
had one today already. Junior is joining us at 5 o'clock. I think Junior is joining us in person today at 5 o'clock.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's
Okay.
going to borrow one of the headsets coming in today. Yeah, this one here, it's a Quest 2. It's been sitting in the cabinet for a while, and I finally asked Nasreen.
One of the bad payment. Just here disconnect.
I don't know which one to
Use a different one.
use today. Swapped for another one. Yeah, Gion had a cable in there all afternoon. She was.
Remember we had cable issues last time.
I know. I don't understand because, like I said, Gion was working today and was getting all the data off the headsets, and it was fine. She never had any issue with the cable. I don't know which one she used.
We're just cursed whenever we come.
I guess. Yeah.
We have bad luck with Meta.
Yeah. So I guess in terms, so I'm somehow I got off the network here. Sorry. Let me just see if I can see what's going on. Refresh this page. Come on. I'm gonna try bringing up the notes one more time here to apologize.
Yes.
I've been for work. All of a sudden Murphy's Law here with the internet. That one, that's I know that one's working. Yeah, that's the mouse. Yeah, I'm just trying to get back to the meeting notes here, cabinet.
Should we merge right now? Quick,
Yeah.
Seems like this is open at the moment.
I mean, okay. I mean, it'll be in. It's there. It's an easy merge because it's just one branch. So
Yeah, much.
Oh.
Is that,
is that
which one is that? What is that?
is that the Gosh, I can't think of what you would call it.
I mean, what the hell is
The isn't that the
what that is?
the Clear Care project? Isn't that what it is?
I don't know how that got open.
Is it okay if I?
Yeah, yeah, close it and get a Unity hub or plastic regular merchant. So I was I'm sorry for being distracted. Just all of a sudden I've been computer's been fine all day and now the network just went.
It seems like it's
Oh boy.
Yeah, go ahead and sign in.
I've been prompted to sign in like every single time I open plastic lately. The lab password's on the computer, right? Or is that separate from the?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
This one, let's see, this is Unity ID for lab password. And I can't even get into the Google Drive right now.
I don't know how the cookies
Are you guys, can you get into the Google Drive now?
Yeah.
There should be under lab management. We have all the passwords.
Do you want me to open up the password?
Yeah, we need to find the Unity password for INLVR. I don't know, this is bad.
What kind of noise that keeps going off and on? It's connected, disconnected. Right. Yeah. Not a good sign.
One more time. No, why this
Is
is.
it in the housekeeping document?
I'm sorry. I'm at that point where nothing works. You have to close everything on your computer and restart. So apologize. So I'm trying to restart my, I'm sorry, let me just restart my computer. I'll come over there and.
I'll
Take
try
a
to
look
find
at the file. Yeah, if I see the file, I should be. See if I can find it. Go to, can you have it display as a list?
I found it.
You found it?
The password RIVR since 2018 and the I is a slash. A forward slash.
It's big R,
I can put it in.
big R, yeah, R/VR capital space since 2018. Yep.
I can go type it in unless you can.
Yeah, if you pull up that screen for me, that is. Screen.
I just saw that.
On what account? I believe it's which account.
No,
Maybe-
no, oh, I see what
Yeah,
happened.
you put an R.
That R got ended up. Here, so it's strange.
Could streamline it.
Yeah. You've made change.
Okay.
Why is everything signed out? Everything just signed out. That's so annoying. And there's like the computer reset. Maybe. Yeah, that's right.
I'm sorry, touch, go ahead. Okay.
That's IVR3, by the way.
Yeah, the tab, just click IDR4 tab. It's in the middle. Go down, yep, right there. So Junior is coming at 5. So you guys, in terms of what's the best use of Junior's time today?
Do we have anything that? Really? I don't think we have anything about needs, Junior. Do you guys have anything? I mean, we have like some design decisions. Maybe we could be like talking about the storyboard. Yeah, yes. We can talk about the design of things, but we don't have any like functional questions or technical questions, I guess. Is better.
Why is my internet not happening here? In the Wi-Fi. Calendar.
I made the
I
camera straight, by the way.
Don't know what's going
That's fine.
on here. Not getting anything. Computer's working fine all day. It's smooth, so we started. I can't get internet access. Turn off the network. That phone. Like, it won't let me log into Lehigh's network. Weird. All right,
Sometimes that happens to me and I disable my Wi-Fi and turn it back on again.
yes, I just did.
Oh.
Mac, and let's see if it's letting me do Lehigh guess. No. I just restarted the computer. Hitting off Lehigh guess. Looks like I'm on Lehigh network. But everybody's okay, like you're all on Lehigh network and you're doing okay?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Ridiculous. I'll get a restart. I can't get in. Can't get in anything. Sorry, I'm just like
What's up?
floored. I just, you know,
You, oh yeah, thank you.
no, literally, Ethernet cable.
Well, assuming there's a.
Assuming I have an, I think this is really confused. I think I have an adapter.
What in doubt you see? Not the same.
It's a connection thing?
Yeah.
The Wi-Fi.
All of a sudden, I just can't use the Wi-Fi. I can't get on like there. Now finally, that came. That took forever. Let's see. It'll now that I got at least that Google Workspace login. Let's see if it'll actually like pull up my calendar or something. Strange. I hope nothing. Accessory to connect. Allow. Turn the Wi-Fi off. No internet. Why? Why? No internet.
Maybe preferences.
Really?
Or
Yeah, I just turned the Wi-Fi off because I plugged this in. So it should be given like it should.
If you, even if you have Wi-Fi on,
Yeah.
once you plug in the Ethernet, it should, or by default, go to the Ethernet cable. Unless it works differently on that, but. You could
It
try.
says Lehigh Connect, right? Tails, and that popped up now all of a sudden, automatically Joan. Limited IP. All right. So this came up now. Calendar, just pull up the drive. Yeah, I always use Chrome.
no, I don't think the Ethernet's working.
I don't think this was working.
Are there lights?
Flashing.
Oh yeah, the lights are on though.
This light here? Yeah. I don't know. I thought I saw something that said an update. This is like a brand new computer too, 2 weeks old.
Oh. So.
Here it says system setting one update.
To go system settings, click on network. Right. And then click the Ethernet service.
That's this, right?
And then click the details.
Should be fine. That's connected. So can it be reached? Swear, this was working fine up until right at 4:30. All of a sudden, it just stopped working. I just restarted. I'll try one more time to restart. Oh, one more time, and if not, Maddox, I'm going to defer to you to be taking really good notes today, buddy. And now Google, we like Google. I just that came fine. Google Workspace.
I think you need to turn off Wi-Fi for the Ethernet to be over.
Yeah.
Did turn off.
Did that. So the Google Workspace, haven't had a Murphy's Law day in a long time. I was due up, I guess.
Sometimes technology just doesn't wanna cooperate.
It's like unexplainable instead of. It's like, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna turn this off one more. Let's get started. All this is I'm just gonna try to restart this one more time. Instead of doing a restart, I'm gonna do a full shutdown. Yeah, just go ahead. Like I said, I'm actually just gonna help. I'll have to, if I say something for the notes, I'll just tell you to put in there.
Well, that's good.
That's the main menu.
That's a lot better.
Hey, go ahead,
Yeah.
display the menu again for a second.
Just
Sorry. And what's above water? That's where you have.
Yeah, just look up. a little.
Look up. There you go.
Oh,
Watershed.
yeah, that's,
So,
well,
so what's, what you say, when you check watershed, what is it? Is it just the
Did
boundary?
it toggle on all of it on? Oh, I see.
Yeah, but I have to fix that because obviously the rest of the other categories are still looking like they're checked even though they.
yeah, the tributaries are still there.
Yeah.
We tied to the,
Selected. So
That's fine. Yeah, you could spur like like.
I was
I don't know if
wondering,
my
That's
dick is
land-
there.
When you're unchecking that, it's the land use that
I don't know
seems to
why.
be disappearing,
Yeah,
right?
they didn't
You
I
want
didn't look at it, VR.
land cover.
just everything.
Yeah, so,
I have to
But-
still tie like certain, like, being able to
No.
select the
I'm
tributaries,
curious
like,
if they like didn't save or something.
like the color that you're seeing here.
right,
That's the color it's supposed to be, and then you want it selected.
Didn't
So
save
we have to
anything.
change that in the script still, so that when
mhm,
only the tributaries layer is selected, we should be able to select the individual tributaries, otherwise we don't want to be able to select them, right?
say that again.
Like, when the tributaries layer is toggled on,
Mhm.
that's the only time we should be able to select tributaries, not at any other time. Or do we want that functionality to only be there?
So, I don't know how you could code it, because what you, because again, there's more tributaries than what you have, there's more tributaries in the map than what you, highlighted, right? I only had you highlight the main primary tributaries, so that we could, the idea was, clicking, that if you were to click on that layer, that's, I'm gonna just say major primary tributaries. Because it's not all the primary tributaries, it's like, what we agreed on was probably the major one.
Seth, what I noticed was that Jeremy's map, which is the
Mhm.
one that we looked at, for Lehigh Watershed, has a few tributaries that you wanted highlighted that weren't there to begin with.
Really?
Yeah,
That doesn't make sense.
I just noticed that there's only the blue, the light blue layer, and there wasn't any like. dark
It doesn't
blue
look like
layer.
it is from the map.
Can you take the land use off and leave the tributaries on? Yeah, so and like, just zoom in, like, if you go up to where Northampton is, that would be good, yeah, so zoom in where it says Copley, Northampton,
Some of them you can see
yeah, that's, all right,
underneath it, that's the original map with the tributaries.
yeah,
There's a few of them that don't
oh,
have any.
right. That's right, that's what I was trying to note, that,
So I'll have to basically recreate the tributary layer that.
yeah, the original layer should have, because I think we've had this before, right? Where we had the tributary. Again, I'm just trying to remember, it's been a while, but I thought we had the tributaries and streams layer that had like primary, secondary, tertiary tributaries. You know, and it was, with that just selected, you see all these streams, right? And we want to be able to have that displayed on the map. Where what we decided to do with these primary ones, so the issue was we couldn't get the names of the tributaries. That was the main issue. And we decided that, well, what do we really know? Which names do we really want to know? And I said, well, let's create a new layer, and we went through that list of what I considered the primary tributaries. Not every single one, but most of them, right? And then you traced it to have that layer, and what we'd want to be able to do is be able to select that layer to just identify, well, to make them pop a little, but also so that you can get the names of them if you want. So here's what I'm thinking, Zara. So here's for the notes. Ready?
I've been on it, yeah.
Okay. The highlighted light blue layer. Let's try calling that, let's give that a name of primary. So I want to say primary tributaries are first order.
But the highlighted light blue will change based on,
Right. Like, in front of you. I don't see any blue, no, the other one to the left.
Well, it's
See,
going
there's
down the middle,
one
kind of.
down. So we have the
Oh.
tributaries layer toggled on, which should include all of the. Like, if you highlight the other one,
Yes.
yeah,
Something.
that one has some, like, that one has the original map of tributaries. A few of them don't for some reason.
You can kind of see it like on the gray of the map, right? Like the gray line.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not like it's not a blue line.
yeah, they're just thinner.
They're thinner.
Oh, it's,
Yeah,
they are there, they're just thin.
They're there, yeah.
Okay.
Or is that part of the base map? I don't think that's
Yeah,
part of
that's
the
part of the
tributaries
base
layer.
map.
But
Yeah.
it's, it's
That
part of
might
the
be,
base map.
I think it's part of the base
Part of
map.
the base
Yep,
map.
it's part of the.
There is a layer, there's a layer that Jeremy has, it's
I
like.
know, we have it toggled on, if you
But if,
untoggle, if you
so
unselect.
yeah,
it,
so see if you
here.
can unselect everything, but just display the tributaries, all the tributaries. There should be a way of doing that. So I think something's masking it.
The only thing right now is that we don't, unless we manually unselect, unhighlight the light blue color, because by default, we don't want them to all highlighted, correct? We
Oh,
want
so
it
there's no way
only-
to turn them all off at once, the highlights?
Not right now.
Okay.
But Titus, if you just unselect some of the, like, you'll notice that
Where did it go?
tributary layer that
Oh.
Jeremy made is the darker blue that we would be able to toggle on
That's
and off.
something like that there.
Some of the ones that you wanted us to highlight just don't have that as a part of that layer. So I'll just have to recreate the little tributaries.
Right, is it possible for you guys to take the highlights that you made, but make them that color and make that into
We're
the
missing
layer?
the-
Like that could be the tributary layer and then,
Yeah.
because you guys, I mean, I guess they're not entirely accurate though.
There's Junior.
I was not.
I think, yeah, the tributary layer that Jeremy made is obviously just one file that includes all of the tributaries, so there's no way to like distinguish between each individual tributary. That's why we created all these other files to be able to highlight them. But
Yes.
the subset that Jeremy has doesn't match our subset that we want to highlight. So I just have to recreate. I think we might have selected like a different kind of filter and made the tributaries that I don't know what it would be if it's not first order tributaries.
The graphical quality is excellent because even on Zoom, it's so crisp. It's really beautiful.
No, Junior, I thought you were stopping by today at the office. Well,
What? What?
That you're gonna pick up a headset, did I read that or something? I misunderstood?
Maybe man at home.
No, I'm gonna go to the lab on Friday.
Oh, Friday. Okay, I messed up, Friday. Yeah, I'm still concerned about the layer. But so that's where that streams and tributaries layer. I could be wrong.
I just imported whatever file that Jeremy had for that one. Or whatever.
There should be more. Maybe his This layer only had the primary streams.
So is what they made for the highlights not all the primary streams?
No, they did.
Oh,
You did.
So-
But I'm
This includes more than the original.
it's just that when you have this, the streams and tributaries layer, what I thought, this would be something to follow up with Jeremy, and you can put that in the notes. See if you can consult with Jeremy about the tributaries and streams layer, because it seems to me that there's missing
I can bring up the actual original map.
a lot of secondary and tertiary streams in there.
Look at the Lehigh RiVR.
I can't, of course, I can't pull up anything on my computer, but like, here, this is ridiculous. You guys,
Which one? Which one? Like the light blue or the
The dark blue is missing, but the light blue is there.
the dark blue ones are from the original layer, and to me, it seems like those are primary streams. I mean, in Allentown, there might be a secondary one flowing into. I don't even find the
If you look at Jeremy's original map, it only includes like all the dark blue lines you see. And our.
I'm gonna sit next to you, so I have you zoom in.
Look, my home, I'm so engaged by this presentation, West Coast View. It's so fantastic, the power of place-based learning. I feel so important to see where I live in the map that you are creating.
You haven't seen nothing, man.
What?
Look at the map.
You take off
I
the
don't want to see it. Yeah.
land use.
I don't know if there didn't save or something like.
Which one?
No, I'm talking about.
it's in your scene, but, yeah, if you're, oh, right.
Right. Still, there's more. There are more streams that flow into.
Confused.
There's a lot of streams, secondary and tertiary streams.
Oh, this is it,
only
right?
Showing the primary.
pointer?
stream.
Yeah.
It just says missing prefab, so what happened is maybe it was,
Because he,
Oh, it's because I
this
downloaded
isn't
it
my
from
created map, I don't have access to see what filters.
Sketched out. Yeah, I guess
it probably plastic detected it as plaga and it didn't check with me. I guess. So you should, did you do it on the left computer?
I don't.
Okay. You should, so what you're probably gonna have to do though at this point, since I pushed after what you were working on
And
it,
then. for
you
the
can
push
shelve that
what do we have to?
and then change it to,
That was my offer.
if the, if
Oh, I should
the
know.
asset's already in there,
I should,
that was the main part. I just.
you
have to
worked
put it in.
on this scene after they did, right?
Yeah.
Oh, they should,
I am in between you
yeah,
and them.
and it's a different scene. So maybe it'll be fine, but you might have to show.
Yeah.
I mean, worst case,
So what we.
if the asset's in there,
You
like
have all
in
these
the
little side tributaries.
proportions and like everything that I did to it,
Things like that.
that was the like the
Yeah.
hard part. I just have to put it in place. So worst case, I can just
This
copy
layer
that.
is.
I think worst
included
case, you might have to.
in watershed,
show
And then
just that
obviously we
change
just
in
have
the
like the
flat, yeah, it shouldn't be
nature being able to be highlighted, but like,
Considering it's,
but the dark blue.
I didn't work on that scene.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think it'll do that, but
So
I
I'd
think
like
what
to
happened
have
was
Lehigh's
maybe
that have all
the
these secondary and tertiary
objects
streams
that
that are
I
kind of flowing into the major ones, so we can see them.
downloaded.
Yeah,
Because
from
it's maps kind of misleading.
Have
the way
you
without
done
that,
any,
It's sort of seems like, oh, there are
downloading
these, only
from,
these
Like,
primary streams, but it should also
Sketchfab?
have all these secondary and tertiary.
because I've only done the Unity.
no, I've only done
assets,
Unity assets.
And that one's
Yeah.
easy. You can just
Yeah.
like,
I've never done Sketchfab, so yeah,
I couldn't find anything on the Unity assets.
All right, so Maddox, make sure the notes say, we want to make sure that the secondary and tertiary streams are displayed on the tributaries, layer.
Yeah.
Not for the, that, the highlighted thing
Yeah.
is different
Yeah.
because we wanted that to pop out where at least people can, select that to get the names, right? Because the issue was we couldn't get names of things.
Yeah.
With,
It's there.
yeah.
you can get the tributary.
yeah, I covered that in the notes. Would be good.
Well, it's just a Zoom dialogue covering.
Oh,
Yeah, I see it.
But do we want it to be highlighted with that light blue by default, or do you want it, once it's clicked, to turn light blue?
Yeah, I don't think it should be.
probably once it's clicked, right?
Yeah, you don't want it to default it like that, because when someone sees the water, ideally, when you're kind of looking at the map, you'd want to see, if you're exploring the streams and the tributaries, you'd want to see how the streams go into the Lehigh River and how you have little feeder streams going into the primary streams. As far as the investigation goes, like if somebody needed to um, identify a stream name, and we haven't, I think from the document, and I don't have it memorized, right, but I think one of them's in the Monocacy Creek, another one, I think we're using either the Hockendaco Creek or the Copley Creek at another location. The other one was Buck Mountain Stream further up. To identify those streams, one would have to, we're probably going to have, like we were talking about for Jacobsburg, having a place that's going to zoom you into it as a target. But the whole thing of having a GIS is you want a player or user to be able to explore the data a little bit if they want, look around and see things. So I guess, when it comes time for, again, when it comes time for instruction, which we're not there yet, and I don't even think you may or may not get to it this semester, maybe the next group. We've got to decide, how do people, you have to have a tutorial, and how do people move from one location to the next. And I still think we're going to have to people are going to want to be able to see what the stream name is. And so at some point, in the tutorial, we'll have to show how to say, hey, find names of primary streams, the highlighted layer, and noting, and it doesn't have all the tributaries, some of the names.
You could code a like disable all highlight button. If that's be pretty easy to implement.
We just have like the toggling on and off of all the tributaries.
Right, I understand that, but the issue right now is we don't have all the tributaries. Yeah.
So that could be, I can add that.
Okay.
Like right now, if we look at it, but it's just a lot. All the hydraulic data, looking at right now.
Yeah, that's a lot of streams there, isn't it? A lot of tributaries. And one would want to see that, yeah, on the map.
So you would want all of,
Mhm.
not all of the area.
I should probably do. I should
Here.
copy that thing that Titus just
What
did
is the area features like
into the
floodplains or
bigger
something? Is that-
as just like a reminder control thing.
What?
You can do that. Yeah, why not? I mean, it's
Like,
pretty. You'll use like 3 buttons. But
No,
just as a reminder.
yeah, we don't need it, just need.
And if they don't do anything for a couple seconds,
You got just line features on there?
then we could just
Yeah, that's perfect.
tell them.
Yeah, that's what we want to see on the map.
I mean, that's coded to the Y button, so you would just might as well have that in there. I would say.
like different. I don't know. We want all of them, I could pull in everything that's shown here.
Yep. Yeah, that's what we want. Perfect. That's it. That's it. That's what we want.
So do you think, did she figure out the layer? Is she,
That's the data.
so she doesn't need to talk to Jeremy then, or does she?
Yeah, she has the data. Yeah. Got it.
That imported and have it only within the extent of the boundary.
I have one more thing on this scene before we go to the next one. So now that we're previewing it on the lab computer, I've realized I'm not quite sure what went wrong, but this was our first time using an asset not from the Unity asset store, from like Sketchfab. It was a free asset that I downloaded. And I put it in the scene and it worked completely fine on the lab computer.
Mhm.
And then I pushed it, and for some reason, it's like red whenever you hover it on the scene. And I'm not sure if it was either a asset error or plastic or something, but it's not like it's in the scene, but it's not showing.
Yeah, it was he did the new like icon
Yeah, the new icon for
for the
Jacobsburg.
location for Jamesburg, but it shows as a missing prefab, so
I think
he just has to go back.
What do you mean, Henry? Did you say that you had it working at one point?
on the lab computer it's working. The asset is there on this one, but it's not showing in VR. And if you like go, if we were to go to like the scene view and look at it, it's like
Which
highlighted
are
in
you
red.
talking about?
No, you can't. I meant like if you were to look at like the assets,
I'll put it in
not in VR.
I'll put it in the Zoom chat. The
Like
image
scene
is what it
view.
is.
In red or in pink?
Red.
Red. If you were to like exit VR and like look at the like at the bottom, you see the thing in
Yeah, you
red
see
on the left.
it says missing prefab.
Oh, that's a broken prefab. Something must have happened.
Do you think it's the one that I downloaded from the website was bad, or did I?
Maybe
I think it's just a push error with plastic.
Yeah, I also agree with Maddox because what is interesting, that's why I asked you whether you had it working at some point.
I
So
did.
if you had it working at some point and then you open that in another computer and it's weird, it's a plastic issue.
So I should go back to that computer and try and fix the plastic issue.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, I can do that.
And probably, Henry, this kind of smells like those private files that they
Maybe.
come to bite our ass out of nowhere. So this is
Yeah.
the kind of thing that happens. We cannot explain. We know that we are doing things right, but then once you open the project somewhere else, stuff starts popping up or like disappearing out of the blue. It's because those private files are memory cache from the other computer that had performed some changes. So that's why I always say, whenever you see those, even though like all our projects that we have the ignore file, but plastic is not to be trusted. We need to always be on the top of our toes, or
Okay.
whatever the expression is.
I will make sure that I fix that.
Delete the private file so that you avoid having anything like residue coming to the other computer that you'll be downloading the project.
Okay, sounds good.
Another thing that I would like, since you said that it was the first time you used Sketchfab, one thing that you might consider to make your life easier is there is a an asset that is an Unity editor add-on, which is Sketchfab Importer. And actually, we can download that from the very website from Sketchfab. So
Okay.
what it does, it makes our life much easier to import anything from Sketchfab because we get one of those Unity windows, and then you just have to copy the 3D object ID from Sketchfab and paste it here in Unity and click a button, and then it imports for you.
Oh,
Because with Sketchfab, it's annoying to make the correct process for you to make sure that the texture is applied to the mesh. So I don't know what the object is like, if it's too complex or not, but if they even offer that for us, I highly recommend using that. We have used that in Flood Adventures, I guess. Yes.
Okay, I'll look into that too.
I booted up my old laptop. It's no problem. with getting on with it.
You got it working?
Well, not my new laptop.
Oh.
That's what I've been working with all day. It's been fine up until 4:30 and then just decided not to get internet connection.
Aside from this for the RGS thing. Nothing that's really, I mean, the main thing that we did this week for the RGS scene was the tributary names actually displayed, like as you saw, like when it clicked on each and one of them, the name actually displayed.
Yeah, that's great.
Yes, more.
Apparently, in the RGS scene, there's two different rate casts. There's the grab rate and the location rate. And at one point, I realized that I was using the wrong rate cast. So I had to redo everything. And make it so that whenever the location rate hits like the hitbox. If it hits any one of them, it actually displays the right one, depending on like the location rate.
You should definitely document the,
Yeah,
what you discovered. For the future, because other people will. Have to find that out the hard way if we don't document that.
Yeah.
With the menu that shows up with the different layers in the checkbox, do we want it to be separate, like a distinct option for the bush creek watershed, like with all the layers, or is it fine if everything toggles on and off for the entire?
I think it's fine to have everything toggle on and off together, so linking. The tributaries and stuff for the Bushkill, at the same time that the Lehigh River tributaries are on. I think it's gonna be fine. It would be less, less separate layers we have to develop.
I mean.
Tom, does that make sense to you?
Say that again?
Go ahead, Zara, say it one more time.
So when I have the menu pop up, I have all the layers listed. And there's a checkbox next to all of them, and when you toggle on and off these layers, it toggles it on and off for both the Bushkill Creek watershed and the Lehigh River watershed. I wasn't sure if you guys wanted me to make a distinction between.
No. Like there's no, for the purpose of the gameplay, there's no functional difference. It's just like an academic.
Yeah.
It's academically significant detail that it's two separate watersheds, but for the purpose of the gameplay, it's all one thing.
Yeah.
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 Probably, I can just, there's nothing to demo in VR really, because it's not set up to work in VR yet. Everything is in place. Like I have to like code scripts so that the colliders and panels and such actually interact with each other. But everything is in place to, I mean, we should probably make an official story board, I suppose, but I feel like I have a good enough idea of how to, I mean, I'll go over with you and I made changes to the panels that were there last time based on your feedback.
Yeah.
And then I added more. So yeah, we'll get everybody's feedback on.
We can see that now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I can kind of just, I mean, I can screen share my laptop unless you'd rather me do it on there. It's when you're in the ArcGIS scene, the camera gets really zoomed out because the scene is so big. So, But yeah, I can just share in here because then I can also take notes and stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I'm on here on this, I'm in the Google Doc now on this computer.
Oh, okay.
It's my old computer.
So yeah, Titus, if you want to end the screen share, if you're still screen sharing. Or you know. Okay. Oh. Okay. Oh, I'm in the other team. So because yeah, since like it's not actually coded yet, I have to manually enable and disable things. So that's why I can't really demo in VR as of now, but we talk through what I have. So let me reset. All right, so this first thing is pretty much the same as you can see right here. Just welcome to Jukasburg to continue point raycast above below, press the trigger. Yeah, I did change the font because we said that we didn't like the font before. So this is sort of Times New Roman-ish. Is that fine, you think? I mean, I can go through the fonts right now real quick. If it's available.
Well, yeah, that's much better. I think that's a fine font, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, do we,
Junior, you think it's nice looking, the font?
For us, yes, but according to ADA, we should opt for sans serif to make sure that it's more accessible.
what font?
Any
Serif.
font that is sans serif.
No, sans serif.
Sans serif.
Oh, pardon my French.
There's only how many options here? I'm sure you can import some, but let's see, we have, well, that's the one that I was originally. We have that, which,
That's sans serif.
oh, it is?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Serif is like the little swirls at the end of the
The flowering of the letters, things that just get to make it more beautiful. But for accessibility, actually that is creating more trouble for the reader.
So would you rather be this instead of,
Especially in immersive interface.
I would go through them all.
is that, which is just that, but like less? Actually, might like this better.
That's also
Yeah,
sans
that-
serif.
Yeah,
And again, you can also bring any font to this folder.
yeah,
Like, there is no limit for the fonts you can import into a
yeah. I
new-
just didn't bother getting new ones, but I mean, because if one of these works, then we'll just use that. But we could. Is this one, which is this but brighter, I guess?
Yeah, one is bold and the other is regular.
Yeah,
For you to see, you can see the bottom part. Can you see like there is the description of
yeah,
the thing?
yeah.
And Text Mesh Pro has some visual editing styles so that you can change. The most important thing for you to do whenever using Text Mesh Pro in a Unity project is for you to create the presets so that you can apply the preset, which is like a set of configurations, like if you want shadow or outline, and not to change the shader, which is this material where you are now. Why is that? Because if you change the shader sliders and numbers, it's just like a prefab.
It
You're
applies
going to be
everywhere.
changing
Yeah,
all the other letters where this font type was used. Whereas if you apply the preset font, asset, and then there's down, material preset, it's currently in Liberation Sans SDF something. If you use the preset, and you can even create one for yourself and name it instead of like outline or whatever, because like, oh, Liberation Sans Medics or IVR4, because then it's easily communicated to the other team members that that was the specific font that was prepared for that project.
okay.
The easy way for you to do that is to go to the folder where the project is located. Then you duplicate that preset, and then you come back to Unity, you load the preset just like you have now, but then you make the changes you want to see in that duplicate preset, and then you can save it to overwrite it.
Yeah, that's good to know, because I mean, I was doing what you said you shouldn't do, which is change this. And I know that changes that everywhere.
Mhm.
But yeah, I guess that's not good. So, and also like I added you know how this is like outlined.
An outline, yeah.
Is that not,
It's important because it helps the contrast and the visibility.
so we would want this to be outlined then, oh, I hit scroll.
Yeah,
Like yeah. Like, yeah, that's much better than like this. So, okay. So I'll change it to this Liberation Sands then. But for now, basically I'm just showing like what the actual like text is. The font isn't super important, but yeah. So that's the first thing. And then this is now the way we said it is you're going to conduct a macroinvertebrate survey. This checks the health of the stream. Let's go get a sample of water from the stream. So
Maddox, you have to also, I don't know if you are working by yourself or Henry is helping you, but you have to do some tweakings on the order of rendering.
yeah,
Can you see that
I
it's
know that's,
overlapping?
yeah, it's really annoying. I have to look into that.
another thing that kind of bothers me about this one is like the top line is like shorter than the middle line goes all the way to the edge. I don't know.
Oh, I mean, you can change that easily.
Text wrapping.
Yeah, your
Yeah.
text is centered however you got it.
Yeah.
So while we are talking about that, it's important for you to know that Text Mesh Pro also supports rich text. So, but it's a little bit more troublesome for you to find it. It's under the extra configurations that, yes, thank you. So if you have rich text enabled, you can use markup language with tags, just
Oh, okay.
now
Yeah.
in that text box. So, for example, Henry was saying, "Oh, that kind of annoys me," or whatever. We are just using that example because it was very good. But
Yeah.
like, if you know that you need to have like a line that like in a larger font size, but the rest should be smaller, you can independently edit anything you want because of the rich text being enabled.
Okay. That's good. Yeah, that's similar to how fungus works. It's just that the naming convention is a little different.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's okay.
So Maddox became a powerhouse after he suffered with fungus. That's
Yeah.
excellent. Level up of the highest quality.
Yeah, so any tweaks with this would be easy, I guess. We'll just have to decide on a final design decision, I guess. But I'm just basically verifying that like the actual like what's being said is like what we agree upon at the moment. So yeah, this is pretty much what we talked about last meeting to say. So does that look all good? What is said on that panel?
I would just change the word checks to assess. Assess.
Okay.
This assesses the
Yeah.
health.
Dr. Bodzin, do we have a document for textual information so that the group can always revise and help the designers?
No, so I'm gonna ask y'all to create one. So,
Because this helps them like not to have to worry and go like the group can take care of that, the word choices and stuff like that.
Yeah,
yeah,
We can make a
it'll
storyboard.
be done this week probably.
yeah, let's say
This point
create a
before
dialogue,
we
a
don't
text
put it
dialogue document.
Another thing that I think that it's very timely for us to do, and this is gonna be great because IVR4 is really innovating in many senses. We
Yeah.
can finally have the voiceovers without the robotic feeling because of generative AI.
True.
So
Yeah.
now it's easy. We can see everywhere, even like with the immersive reader of Microsoft Edge. We can see that there's a huge list of voices added, and the ones that are natural, they say AI natural, and it feels like just like a normal human being talking. So we won't have to struggle anymore with like this finding voice actors and actresses to narrate, and like it takes a lot of time and effort.
Are you doing notes now? Is it?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
typing notes. I got that in there already.
All right. So ready for the next?
Yep.
Panel? Okay. So then it just says after that. Now go to the river and pick up the net. Now Titus suggested that it should say, now head to the river. He said go to sounds ominous, like, or he's like,
Now go.
yeah.
To the river
So-
and pick up the net.
we could say like head to the river. But is that fine in the context of right after this, it says, because you go from saying, let's go get a sample of water. But then it
But then it's
says,
repetitive if you say go to again.
yeah, but it's kind of how we talked about in the notes, but I just feel like there could be a better way to do it.
Let me see the prior screen.
Like we could combine this screen and the previous one, probably. Like, let's go get a sample of water from the stream.
Helpful to
Yeah,
write out all of
it seems repetitive.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and so two things. First, like Zara says, yeah, let's create this text dialogue document for all the narrative text. I think that's gonna be helpful
Yeah.
to kind of draft that, and then at the next meeting, we can,
Okay.
go through it. Like I would say here, you could, say, let's walk to the water to get a stream sample.
And
Something
grab
like
the
that.
net. But then like how,
But then,
so,
but the net's at the stream.
mhm. Well, I guess. If we tell them to walk over here, naturally they're gonna see this. Right, so
Yeah,
do you think that's enough instruction? Just say walk to the riverbank and then,
We could also do a path, like after they click
Yeah.
that, a path will like highlight on the
Yeah.
ground.
that's a great
And then it
idea.
won't let you like
Let me just
walk
table
to
this.
the sides.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a great idea.
And ignore the floating rock.
You can still move around away from the path, but it's, I guess, having the path is more like a guide.
Yeah,
But there could also be like walls.
well, we're gonna have
right
invisible
here.
walls because obviously we don't want them
We don't
going
want
like
them
over
going
here.
like all around
Yeah,
the.
it'll be like this general area that's,
Or maybe having like an actual physical fence, because if it's just like an invisible wall.
No, yeah, we.
well, it
could
won't be
have,
as
like-
immersive for sure, yeah, so I mean,
I think we could have like a little fence path.
I mean, I'll just take this fence and use it for that.
Or
The point of the game isn't for them to go out and explore. for
Yeah.
too long.
they wanted to feel like they're in control, but also not let them go completely
Yeah.
whatever they want, you know?
All right,
In your rock star of Red Dead Redemption. Go
Yeah.
one step up and then mission.
okay,
Wanna play that then?
I mean,
No, I saw one of my housemates playing it, and he's like kind of like a person that likes to play games in mind anyway,
Mm.
because he says that's the best way to have fun with games. But then like Rockstar games, he's like, no, you gotta play the way that we want it. Like if you go off the path for like 3 seconds, we're gonna miss you fail.
okay, so, yeah, so that's. I think I'll get rid of grab the net part, because they'll just walk to here and see this, and then here we have. Grab the net with the grip button, and there'll be a little thing that points to the grip button, to something that I didn't put in.
Also,
And
actually,
then-
another thing, would it be disorienting to have the text dialogue be billboarded so it always faces towards you?
With how big it is, it might be. I don't know.
So I looked at like. In Lehigh Gap's story, how there's like the panels that are just kind of like anchored there,
Yeah, 'cause
and that seems to. Work, except the difference with that is that you can't physically move. So like theoretically, somebody could
I think we'll
like
have,
go behind this.
yeah, and then
well, I think we could have like parts.
So
We could have like boundaries that like shift as they like go through, because obviously when they're doing the tutorial thing back at the start, we don't want them just walking past and going to the river.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I thought of like until they until this part of the panel pops up, which is narrative 3. I was imagining an invisible wall set here, so they can't go past that. And then once they see all that, which means they hit the 2 buttons before, then that goes away, and then that goes away, and then they go here, and they continue, and then they can't go in the river until they do that,
Mhm.
and then yeah, so like we're limiting their access until they basically we're creating like checkpoints essentially. So I think that would be fine to do it that
Yeah,
way.
Junior.
So, I need to congratulate like Maddox and Henry for taking this step and doing the UI. Because it's a lot of work and it's a lot of thinking that we have to do, especially because it's an immersive canvas. Like there is no just X and Y for you to think, it's everywhere, right? But I would really like to suggest us to go back to initial planning, which is to not reinvent the wheel, which is one of our design principles, and recycle the UI that is in that VR template room that we have from the VR template project, because those panels, they already are programmed for the user to be able to like click and move them away, for them to enlarge or shrink. And, it's from the very developer like Meta. So you wouldn't be suffering like, oh, what color should I put here? Or how should I make the design? Like it's already figured out. Not only that, but also empowered by many other UX choices that somebody at Unity and Meta have given lots of thoughts about. So
So if we were gonna go that, well, I'm not sure what where's that sample again? Is it just it was imported with the
That was from the
VR sample?
tutorial.
yeah, I don't recall how it's now, but back in the day when we started this project, I recommended like let's start from a XR VR core template because we had that
Yeah,
boom boom, and then there's all the controllers and stuff. So it's not only the controllers, we also have the UI figured out for us like there. So, and now it's not only UI, for example, UI for text. They also have those floating panels that play videos, if that's the case, we ever need something. And it's just a matter of like duplicating them and because they are prefabs.
yeah.
So I would highly recommend you to consider that because like this is IVR4, but it's our sixth or seventh project. And like, we don't need to develop all of that again. Like it's in a template for us to be.
Right. So if we went that route, then like where would the panels be positioned though?
You can start like whatever they are now, but the only
Oh, okay.
difference is that the user is gonna be empowered to like to move them out of their face if it's
Okay.
bothering them, right?
Yeah.
Because now it's static, which is fine because it's the first iteration. But if you bring that asset that has all the functionalities for interacting with the panel, then you already are delivering a system that empowers the agency of the user. If they want to bring it closer to their face or move it away from their faces, or if they want to enlarge the panel or anything like that.
Yeah, I guess instead of like the route I was going, instead of them like being able to move it or whatever, it just goes away once they're like done with it. But because after a certain point, like the first panel definitely shouldn't be there anymore. But yeah, I guess probably the panels that are already made are just easier to use. And whatever functionality they bring is like a bonus to whatever else we would add. So yeah, looking at the sample, yeah, I kind of didn't really think about that as even a thing to use. So that's a good thing to look into. Yeah, I mean, it would make development easier for sure.
Yeah,
So-
just a suggestion because like our groups are we are very crazy people because we take these gigantic projects and we tackle them by ourselves. And we are students, right? We are educational professors and stuff. But like if we really like are strategical about designing and developing, we don't need to redevelop many elements of these immersive systems because they are already out there. And then
Yeah.
we just like leverage the what we have to offer, just like that GIS map is coming along like mind-blowingly beautiful and perfect. Like nobody else is doing that. So that's what we can do, our differentiation, right? Whereas UI, buttons, like teleportation and everything else, like it's already out there.
So I see there's like 5 things in the chat. Is there anything we need to look at and address?
I think that was, a lot of it was already here.
Okay.
When we started.
Was it? I mean,
You know, I could show it.
oh yeah, I don't see anything.
I think it's because it was before you, John.
Yeah. The only thing that I sent was a picture of what the Henry's with the missing prefab, but then Titus showed it anyway, so it was fine.
Okay, how are things going with the images?
They're all good. We started actually.
Yeah, I'm gonna show that in a
Yeah,
second.
we started using
Okay.
it on this scene.
In there.
So anyway, so yeah, grab the net. Next part would be now with the net in hand, approach the riverbank. So they pick up the net, and I created a little. I'm probably gonna tweak this because I don't love how it looks, but essentially, this is prompting them to like go to that location, the green, like kind of like a highlight area. So yeah, it could be changed a little, but the point is, you get the point. It gets the point across for now. So go to that location, and I would script it once they go there, the player detects the XR rig's location. Once they go there, this panel pops up, and I just forgot what button it is, so that's just a placeholder, but I think it's the left trigger. So press the left trigger to pick up the rocks below you, and we'd be pretty generous about like it wouldn't be that specific. I mean, I would just have the rocks here visually, and the kick functionality would move them around. But as long as they do that like action in the script, it would detect that, and then at that point it would this would go away, or it would say now lower the net. I thought I added that. Maybe I didn't make a canvas for that part, but after this it would, oh, actually, yeah, you couldn't see the bottom part. This will allow you to scoop up the tiny macrovertex on the water. So basically kick the rocks, and then it prompts you to, I made a collider. Let me turn the gizmos on. My thought process was like, if they're holding the net after they kick the rocks, they lower the net like in this collider, and then it would trigger that to play the cutscene for like scooping up the macrovertebrates. And after that point, it would prompt you to go back to the stream table, which if I let me turn all these off so it's not annoying. You can see that we started to, let me turn gizmos off. I wasn't sure how you want these to be represented on the canvas, but right now it just says here are the macrovertebrates present in the stream, and there's more than 5, but so far we have 5 of them here that are portrayed. I thought maybe having the subtitles is what they are is a good idea. Oh, and then this is the stream. Right about
Put
that.
the underneath the words.
Mhm.
Yeah, the common name, you put the genus
Okay.
species name in parentheses underneath.
Yeah, sure.
It'd be nice.
I think there's what, like 7 or 8 like
I like that though.
present.
And then we can have like a little like zoom in animation on the water.
Yeah, like, yeah, it would be a little cutscene, like, you'd see like them kind of like present in a little water thing in the stream tray, and then it would say, and then you would see this, like, um, yeah, hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, it would pop up once it plays the cutscene for the seeing them in here. Or it doesn't even have to be a cutscene. I mean, we can visually just make a water thing that is here with stuff in it. And you'd see that, and
And
then,
there'd be like, oh, and then
yeah, and then this pops up like that, so. But, I mean, I think the images look good in the environment. Um, yeah.
I like I think it's wonderful. The only thing we have to, figure out next is how we convey that if these organisms are, um,
Small, or
Sensitive.
like why
represent
they're
a
there.
healthy stream.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know some of these are sensitive, some of these are tolerant.
we can have,
Yeah.
we can have that in
Um,
the storyboard and go over it. next
I
time.
mean, this could be way more fleshed out, like,
Yeah,
um,
because we want to,
yeah,
this idea that we have in the, our documentation about, sensitive, what's the term, sensitive,
tolerant, somewhat
tolerant,
sensitive, yeah.
I guess we want to probably get that conveyed on here too somehow,
Well, I was thinking,
or, yeah, go ahead.
you could have different tabs, or like things that you could,
We could show the
different
sensitive,
tabs
the
that are
tolerant.
sensitive, tolerant, and you could select each one, and it would be broken down into categories.
Or we could have like,
Raycast to each of the images.
we could, yeah, you could like raycast
True,
and
yeah,
then
that-
it'll
that works
pop
too.
up with like
I like that.
the more
Yeah.
details, like the scientific name, the sensitivity.
And this canvas could be bigger, it doesn't even have to be that size, just so that we can fit all of them on here. Yeah,
I like it. Yeah, we just kind of have to try to figure out how to
We can do a
convey.
storyboard, all of that
Right.
for the next meeting.
Okay. All right.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
How much, and this is for Al, how much
Yeah.
interactivity are you aiming for at this part of the user experience that I could see, like, there's going out to sample in the middle of the stream, there's kicking rocks, there's positioning the net, like there's all these different possibilities. And
Yeah,
I don't think that there's no actual like gameplay mechanic that needs to be satisfied by the user making these decisions, right? They're going to get what they're going to get. It's just a question of how much verisimilitude we want to give them in terms of the experience of doing a macroinvertebrate survey. So how much of that do you want? Because otherwise the whole thing could basically be a cutscene starting from the bank of the stream.
yeah,
But-
like that's the thing that we have to
we
talk
haven't,
about.
so I'm glad you brought that up, Tom, because, in our narrative, we do want this to be game-based. We want this to have some type of,
Their controls.
scoring to it, or
Make some
or
decisions.
decision making.
Mhm.
And we haven't fleshed out the whole narrative of this thing from start to finish. I mean, we have this planning document where we have a lot of ideas, but we haven't really thought through the game mechanics and when I say game mechanics, I mean, sort of like the scoring and that type of thing.
Like,
And what's the goal? And what's the win state, right?
Yeah,
And we haven't really done any thought about that at all. We've kind of been really just focusing on, we've tabled them, we focus on just on
Yeah.
functionality.
So now I think we've sneaked up close enough to it where we got to make some decisions because it's going to create a big fork in the road in terms of like the level of complexity that we're
Right.
building.
yeah,
Okay,
I'm definitely,
so are we, all right, so let's just pause here for a second and get what's sort of the pulse of the room from you, the four of you. Do you think you're ready to tackle maybe a draft of a storyboard for the game from start to finish, given the planning document?
I think so.
I think so.
All right,
Including like GIS scene and
everything.
Start to finish.
everything.
Like, yeah, so we got the planning document, and now like, so what's the experience gonna be like from beginning to end.
I
The other thing to keep in mind, and I'm saying, what do you think, Max? People have been in those headsets like for 30 minutes without a problem during the.
Yeah, sometimes even longer.
Sometimes
Yeah.
longer. So I'm not overly, I'd like to say that we want to try to keep it to 15 to 20 minutes, but if we go over, I mean, that's what we did with Watershed Explorers and thus like the two versions. And, some people do, like if they go right through it, but others, there's a learning curve. My gut feeling is this one is not going to be senior citizen friendly. It's
probably.
I'm just
not.
saying that right now, and that's okay.
We don't
Unless
design it.
like what he said is, it's like almost the whole thing is a cutscene, but at that point, it's not much of a game.
It's that,
Right.
I think we
So-
design it for not
Yeah,
senior citizens in mind.
Right,
That way they're
exactly.
able to make more.
Yeah.
it's not the
Choices.
most accessible project ever, but that's because it's gonna be pretty interactive.
And we want it to be interactive. We took a stink on that early. Yeah.
This activity might fall closer to a simulation than a game. Like just recognize that there's different ways that this could flavor itself.
Yeah.
But Al, as one example of like sort of, this would be more on the game side. Do you want it to be possible that the user samples from the bank of the stream, not the middle of the stream, and therefore they didn't get good enough data, and therefore they drew the wrong conclusion?
Or
Or do you want it to be on rails?
That's something I was wondering too, like, are they gonna get all the possible macroinvertebrates every time, or is there some variation?
They should.
Okay,
They should.
Okay.
And maybe what we could do is some feedback.
Yeah.
About if they're not if they're not a third of the way into the stream, that we give them some feedback if they want to do their sample closer in. It says you can't get a good sample
yeah,
towards that close to the
And-
bank.
and
You
make
need to
them
go
go further
out
in,
further out into the stream where there's a better flow. That's the type
Yeah.
of feedback we're going to want to have.
so if you look at my highlight thing real quick. Should they be like here instead of?
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah,
But they still have
exactly.
the option to do the survey.
but if they do it here, we should tell them to go here.
Yeah, exactly. So if they try to do a sample
Yeah.
earlier.
Or we could have the highlight out there, and if they put their net down outside of it, it will just say,
Yeah.
like,
Yep.
not a good spot.
I think that often makes it seem like, oh, there's like different locations have different, possible
Macroinvertebrates?
solutions.
Yeah.
and Different problems.
Because we haven't gotten to what happens after they get the macroinvertebrates yet. Like
They have
the
to,
actual,
weigh
like how they
different
improve the
options.
water part of the game.
That's-
You can have like all that explanation now. But another thing is like. We have 4 scenes. They can't just get the same like thing that's like says what the like purpose of them are for every scene. I feel like. Yes, that's
Yeah, Jacobsburg would be the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want Jacob's Peak.
Vicksburg, it says that is a control scene. So does that mean nothing needs to be done to the water in the Jacobsburg?
No, the idea of it being a control is, this is the healthiest stream.
Okay,
Yeah, that's why, not call it control. Optimal.
and then the other places, that's where mostly the water is not.
Yeah, you're gonna
Maybe.
find, less tolerant, organisms up in rock or.
Yeah.
I think in Bethlehem, because of the point source pollution, I think they're doing Monocacy Creek, I think that's what it says, Monocacy Creek in Bethlehem. There's some agricultural going in there. But the way that table's designed, I'm pretty sure this one's gonna give you a pristine stream, and the other ones.
Okay. So. So yeah, the development wise. It should be like. A game, it's not just.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah,
I'll put this in the notes, start storyboard, start to finish, think about, game mechanics.
so
Dates.
We can do the
points or
storyboard.
badges.
We can do the storyboard earlier, like this week, and send that to you, and you can give us feedback.
Yeah.
And then we could get into developing, just to verify what we're gonna develop, I guess,
Mhm.
specifically, but yeah.
Yeah.
And-
Sounds good. Yeah. So
Okay.
create a new document, put it in the drive, label
Yeah.
it, planning document or something. I mean,
Storyboard.
storyboard, or how can I do it that way? Yeah, it's gonna be a bit more in storyboard, I think. We can start off with the storyboard, but I think what we kind of need to do is sort of kind of think through also
The steps.
the steps, the game
Yeah.
mechanics and what's that.
So is that two separate things?
It's
Or-
like how the game plays from start to finish.
Or can that be,
Yeah.
is that also in the storyboard?
We
How
can
they-
keep it in the same
Okay.
document, I think.
And I'm gonna put like the actual text in the storyboard, right? Just so,
Text.
because then also at this point, I would rather write it out in there and then put it in here than write it in here, and like that makes,
Yeah.
it makes more sense to do it before.
It's a lot easier to have a fully fleshed out storyboard to make the game, because then you're not thinking
Yeah.
of anything,
Yeah.
you're just typing it up.
There's no uncertainty, and yeah,
I agree.
all right.
And
All
I
right.
need to hop off, but when you do
Yeah.
the storyboarding, feel free to flag the places where you're like, hey, there's a fork in the road here. We could do this
Yeah.
for more interactivity or more game-like interaction, or,
Okay.
more dynamic experience versus
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good.
do that. Like, where are the different possible nodes to branch out in the building?
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so we're done?
Yep.
All right, nice work, everybody. We'll see y'all next week.
All right, adios.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye now.
Thank you.
What's that? That's a light and, that.